How's it going to everybody, and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon, the now broken Darkest Dungeon. I fixed it. I fixed the problem. I had to do it myself. It's not something the game designers did. So I still have the complaint that it's not fixed on their end, but at least I can tell you how to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you in the drop down and or the comment section, I'll leave timestamps to different sections of this, what we're doing now. Because I got a few things I want to talk about. It's probably going to be a pretty long episode. You probably already know the time that the episode is. But since I don't know exactly when to skip, I'll just go ahead and put timestamps to make it a little easier for everybody. So, first off, what is it that went wrong and how did I fix it? Because if you're planning on ever streaming this, recording this, or let's say you tried to stream it and it didn't work for you, that had the same problem I did, and you're watching this trying to figure out what's going on, I'll tell you how to fix it. I tried several different things, and every one of them failed. You know, I tried doing a short little recording, and sure enough, whenever one of the little pop-ups would occur, as you saw every time, usually be a message telling you, hey, this happened, oh, you got this loot from this location, you know, whatever the pop-up is, would freeze the game. It turns out, it is the pop-up that's the problem, and because apparently the game can't differentiate, I almost said that wrong, between the Steam pop-up and the game pop-up. It's like, I don't know, coding-wise or something. If you have this on like console, it's probably not the same problem. But for Steam, it's the problem. You have to go into your, open up Steam if you're trying to figure out how to do it. I guess technically I should actually physically do it and show you, but I can't because I have this popped up right now. Go into Steam, go up to your top right-hand corner. I guess make sure Darkest Dungeons is activated. Go down to like Settings and set Steam Overlay to Off. Basically, I'm hitting Shift-Tab right now, nothing's popping up. If you've played any Steam game, you know what happens when you hit Shift-Tab. I know plenty of times I played Fallout or Skyrim, and I were running with Shift. I hit Tab real quick to open up my inventory, and frickin' Steam Overlay pops up and, you know, sends you into that menu rather than and takes you out of the game. Well, that's what's happening. Steam pop-up, I guess, is very similar to the in-game pop-ups that occur naturally whenever you pick up an item, get a quest item location, get items from a chest, or whatever it is that pops up, and your notification saying, oh, you just run into this for the first time. You need to learn how to defeat it. Because remember, that's one of the things I did in the last recordings was I disabled all the pop-up hints for what to do when this thing's happen to try and fix it. By turning off the overlays, it kind of removes both the Steam overlay and the in-game problem overlay. So basically, it seems the game pops up that overlay as like the Steam one, and then when you're continuing to move along in the real game, the layer that was being recorded is saying, hey, you're still looking at the Steam overlay. Why don't you exit out of that first? But there is no overlay. There's no Steam overlay, so you can't exit out of it. So you have to get out of the entire game and come back in. That's the problem that had to be fixed, and that's how you fix it. You don't realize how happy I am that that's gone. I literally sat down. I'll go ahead and bring this up now. I deleted the original save thinking that maybe that was the problem that had occurred, was maybe it was a bad save. So I deleted it and started up a new one. I played this for about an hour. Now, actually you can see what date I played this and everything. But as you can see, originally I was at week 4 during the end of the last recording, so I only went as far as week 4 on this one as well, just to make sure we'd stay at the same place we should be in the perpetual. I mean, this is, if we turn this into a series, if you want this as a series, let me know. Because I'd like to make it a series. It's fun. It's a bit repetitive, but the RNG can be your best friend or your worst enemy in this game. And I wanted to get an experience with that. Now, this one is the one I was playing for fun, you know, because I was certain. As you can see, I'm at week 33 on this one, or I'm only at week 4 on this one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open this one up so I can explain a few things. This is probably the point where the next timestamp's going to kick in. Now, if you've watched any of my games, you know I like to modify games.
I was lord of this place. before the crows and rats made it their domain.
Okay, I'll pull that out of the way. As you can see, I got a lot of heroes. And this is the part where I'm going to talk about heroes. I'll get to the modding section next. Okay, so I learned that, first off, you really need to get hero barracks quickly. Because you need to have a lot of heroes, and you need to have a lot in your stock. So when I went back and started over, I'm focusing on these two was my primary goals, plus the trying to get the multiple therapy wards, treatment wards done. But I'll start by saying who are my least favorite characters. And this is my personal opinion. Like I said, this is going to be the second time stamp the character section. And I'll get to game mods thirdly. The Jester is probably my second, maybe third least favorite. I'll get to why in a second. My least favorite is the Occultist. I have no use for the Occultist. Basically, he's a buffer, debuffer, and rearranger. You know, rearranging the player pieces on the board. And he does have a healing, but his healing could be either absolutely zero, you hit heal and he gives you nothing, or he gives you an incredibly large amount of health. And I'm not a gambler, and I don't like taking chances if I know there's a chance it's going to go wrong. And because of that, the Occultist is my least favorite character. I don't even have one on my roster because when I had one, I was like, this guy's useless. I have no use for him. I chucked him. I probably do need another Jester. My second least favorite is probably the Jester. Now, the reason why he's my second least favorite is because he's a bleeder. Most of his skills involve bleeding, as you can see here. Now, basically, he's the equivalent of the the Plague Doctor. The Plague Doctor is a specialist in blights and stuns, and curing blights and stuns. But the Jester is basically bleeds. So if you go, up against the zombie section, the Plague Doctor is your best because zombies don't bleed. The Witch Doctor, the Jester is completely useless in those fights, in my opinion. I mean, sure, he's decent on some other aspects of damage dealing, but then he's got these, moves forward 3, moves backwards 3. He acts like a bard as well. And, he buffs as well. But unless you really need the bleed function for particular enemy types and a particular, let me pull out of this real quick and go down to Embark. The Warrens, and I think the Cove, I haven't played the Cove at all, I think they have more enemies that can be bled. But on the other hand, areas like the Ruins and the Weld seem to be more plague capable, or plague attackables. So to me, the Jester, unless you're going to one of those other two areas, can easily be replaced by the Plague Doctor. So the Plague Doctor is actually a lot higher than that. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Now I kind of arranged my characters in order of usefulness. Now, when I say order of usefulness, I mean, what position they are in the team. First off, also, my graveyard, you'll notice that most of my casualties are frontline soldiers. Now, this one was just an accident. This was going up against the boss, I think. Yeah. Arborist, heart attack due to unstable stress. Yeah, I was going up against the boss, I think. And took on too much stress and it killed her. Lost to blight, bled out, succumbed to blight. So yeah, everybody was the same thing. Basically, RNG plus my failings ended up killing him. And it can happen. And as you can see, these were not early game deaths. And these are actually, I think this one wasn't super strong. I think it was like a level 2, but the rest of these were like level 3s and stuff. But, and as you can tell by my sideboard, I spent my time leveling up. I learned that bringing a medic is almost essential. I leveled up as many medics as I could, and that's why they're all level 4s, is because no matter what team went out, the medic went with them. One of those casualties did not have a medic. That was on me. I screwed that up. I did not add a medic into the crew roster, and I was like, well, darn, I brought all these supplies out with me. I need to go on this adventure. Let me beat it. And I beat it, but I lost I think it was that level 2 Hellion that died on that one. And they succumbed to Blight because I didn't have anybody to heal the injury from the Blight. This is my #1 favorite class, the Hellion. Freaking awesome class. I love having them. That's why there's 2 dead ones in my roster right now, is because I lost 2 of them because they were in so many fights. I think I lost a level 3 and a level 2. But yeah, I mean, she's the last survivor of the my crew of elite warriors. This ability right here, Breakthrough, attacks 3 enemies in a straight line. And it can be the difference between life and death in some fights. I mean, obviously, this one's great, and this one's also really good. If I don't take Bleed Out, I usually take Iron Swan, because this allows you to attack these first 3. So you can see by the little red mark on the right-hand side underneath the icon. It attacks all 3 of the first spots. This one attacks the 4th spot. She's a frontline fighter that can fight in all 4 spots. So usually my first attack is to attack the back row to get rid of that person, so I can do the massive damage, and then I focus on the front lines with this one. It's an excellent character all around. I love this character as a fighter. And of course, if you just need to do some heavy damage to the frontline soldier, you can always use this one. Now this one does come with a debuff of -20 damage, -15 dodge, so she can take some hits because of the debuff, but it's more than worth it, especially if you have a healer in your team. Obviously, the Knights are excellent fighters as well. If I send one of these Hellions out, she'll usually be escorted by one of these. As the second position is almost always either going to be a Knight, the Lepers, the Bounty Hunters, or the Man-at-Arms. These are all-around excellent characters. Now, my second favorite is definitely going to be the Bounty Hunters. Because, like Scorpion, they can say, get over here and pull somebody from the back row up to the front. I love it. Now, it only moves 2 spots, so you got to kind of pick and choose what target you're going to move. I mean, obviously, some enemy's going to be pushing themselves backwards with every one of their attacks. Then having a hook pull them to the very front isn't really going to be much good. But since you can tell I have a 4 and a 3 of the Bounty Hunters, I use them a lot. The same with the Knights. The Knights are all around excellent attackers. They can do double attacks or single attacks. And by taking, I really don't use the Holy Lance too much, because that's a back burner. I hadn't changed this one apparently. I've been using this guy, or excuse me, this one, and I've been using this Battlefield Heal 3 and 4. So I really need to move this one over to that, just so I can have that bonus heals. Because having a Knight that can heal himself, actually, because they usually take a lot of damage, helps out a tremendous amount. I also found that these things are freaking awesome. 10 plus HP and extra damage and stuff. They're probably like my 4th or 5th favorite. This guy's an excellent buffer. Once again, I said that the Jester, I didn't really have much of a use for him. That's because this guy can do almost the same thing the Jester can, but he can do a lot more damage with his attacks. And then you got the, what is it? Yeah, the Retribution. The Retribution's awesome because that means every time he gets attacked, especially if an enemy has like an area attack, every time he gets hit by anything, area attack or whatever, he counterattacks and deals damage. So it adds up pretty quick in a fight. I think I also have a dead one of those in my graveyard, once again, because I use them a lot. These guys are good. The Highwaymen, I like them as well. They're probably even with me on the Arbalist and the Highwaymen. They both are excellent range characters, can do a lot of good for what their class is. You know, hit them in the back row, hit them, cover them, use the bola to knock them back, you know, heal, or go over here and do some extremely heavy damage with your guns. All around, probably a good mid-level character I like. And I usually, if I'm not taking one of these, it's because I'm using a different team setup, such as taking the Plague Doctor or the Grave Robber. The Grave Robber and the Plague Doctor are probably equal as well, in my opinion, as being back to mid-level, because I don't use them as front range fighters. So taking this one or this one, both of these, in my opinion, aren't very useful. If I put them in the second to last position, or even the second position, these come in so good that I just don't have much of a use for anything else. This is my... It was early on, the Antiquian, or Antiquian, or whatever it is. I can't pronounce it. As you can see, in this setup, she can go into any position. This was my fallback. Whenever I had too many people sick, too many people at the... you know, praying up to get rid of their madness, or going to the doctor to remove diseases, or going to see the psychiatrist to get rid of their illnesses, the bad quirks, I would use her to fill in the ranks. She's actually pretty good. She's an all-round, like, backup. And the same with this guy, the Abomination. The Antiquarian, or Antiquarian, whatever it is, and the Abomination, in my opinion, are great for filling in ranks. Because, as you can see with him, he's only not good at the back rank. With her, she's good at all of them. So they're pretty good. Now, he's pretty decent, too. He is the only reason I am not using the Jester, the Harlequin, or whatever you want to call him. Because he also does bleed. And he can guard people, and he can also do therapy when it comes to camping skills. So if I know that a character set I'm sending out is going to be psychologically damaged because of fights, I'll send him before I would send a other one, because he's got 2 different stress reducers here, and that's great. When you go to a campsite and you can knock down that stress level for your entire team and help them survive longer, awesome. So yeah, the Houndmaster outweighs, in my opinion, the Jester. So really, the Jester is one of the lower tier. The only one lower than him, as I mentioned before, is the Occultist. That guy is, bottom line, my least favorite character in this game. But yeah, and like I said, I've actually gotten 2 of these books. The Tome of Holy Healing. This is almost an essential item. If I see that on the list of items to be picked up when I hit the embark, if I went through here and I'm like looking around and I see one of those books, I freaking take it. Because, you know, as you can see on the right-hand side of the reward section, is all sorts of random trinkets. And those are the best. What is that? I've never seen this one before. Talisman of Flame. You apparently get 3 of them. Minus 100 damage, minus 100 stress. That seems like it wouldn't be used on a character that can deal out damage, because minus 100 damage, that pretty much makes them useless, right? So yeah, basically, I learned that you need a lot of hero barracks and at least a level 2 to get 4 heroes at a time, so you can go through the list quicker. Because I've been waiting to get a second Hellion for a while. You know, her companions both died off fairly early on, and I haven't had them in the roster for a while. I think at bare minimum you need at least 3 medics. 3 doctor types. Now, obviously, the Plague Doctor can fill in the role of medic, and so can the Arbalist. I couldn't remember what it was called. Arbalist. Archer, basically. She can do pretty decent as a healer, especially with some buffs. But in my opinion, that's a good class to take if you run out of doctors. That's actually what I did in the very beginning when I only had 1 or 2 doctors in my team. Especially if one of the doctors was like over here at the sanitarium getting worked on, the other one's up here getting stress relief, I would have to fill in by dropping both an Arbalist and a Plague Doctor into a same team and let them go together as kind of a 2 for the price of 1 doctor to fill in and fix the problems. So, I mean, that's one way to, you know, solve your medical issues. But, I'll get to that in a second. As you can see, I've done a lot of good at the blacksmith shop. My characters have some of the best equipment now. And remember, this is only day 33, or week 33 in the game, on my personal save. So it's possible to get through this game pretty quickly with a lot of good gear, if you level up correctly. And this place has already been expanded. This upper section is new. Because I've been doing a lot of guild enhancements. Over here, I've done just about the same. I've got a whole bunch of treatment and a whole bunch of cells. The cells are absolutely necessary. You need to have at least 3 people getting worked on at the same time. Otherwise, you're just going to have problem after problem stacked on top of each other until your characters are basically useless. If you can't get rid of those negative quirks, then you're in trouble. And I also learned that I haven't done it yet. I learned it pretty late. This is like your cheapest way to get rid of stress. So really, I should have been dropping more points into here to try to get that final section of this. Because that dagnab, caretaker, he's like freaking Where's Waldo. You show up into your town, it's like, okay, where's the caretaker taking up a spot now? Oh, look, he's taking up one of my praying altars. So now I can't, drop someone in there for cheap. I got to drop him into one of these. So, I mean, it's problematic, especially if he takes the only spot, and everybody in your team is, will only meditate, and you got one of those spots taken. You got to leave that person out an extra round because they can't do anything. Okay. So we're out of the general chit-chat of favorite characters and building. Once again, the only reason I progressed was because I wanted to see what the game had in store. I only just figured out how to fix that problem I mentioned earlier, the problem I had the first 3 episodes. So I was completely ready just to bypass the entire game and said, screw it, I'm starting a new game, I'm going to play for myself, blah, 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 blah. Now that I fixed it, I'm going to play for YouTube as well. Which basically means I learned a lot of things that I can actually use in this current playthrough. That being said, it's time to talk about my game mods. Now, as I've talked about in other games, such as like the Wasteland games and other games, I like to mod my games. Now, you could go to different modding websites and, get different things, but you can also go into the game save files and manually mod them. Now, I'm not going to go through all the boring parts to talk about. Now, if you want me to, this is actually going to be the section 3 at this point. So there should be a timestamp that, would bring you to this section. If you want me to go in discussion about how to mod this game by altering the save files, I will do that in a separate video, but you have to leave a remark down below saying, hey, I would like to see that. If not, that's fine. I'll just, tell you what I did. Now, first off, there is no 500 stacks of this, that, and the other. There's no, oh, you sell back a single can of tuna fish for 20,000 gold, It's not that. I altered the size and stacks, as well as a few other minor details. Basically things that, when I play a single-player game, I don't mind modding it because it's my game to play I want to. As you saw the first 3 episodes, that's vanilla. The first 3 episodes was solid vanilla. So, I played vanilla, and then I found out that this is what stopped me and just made me decide I wanted to mod the save files. The Abomination, who, by the way, is a, what's it called? A rake. Yeah, he's a rake. If you've played Until Dawn, you know what a rake is. Or if you've seen someone play Until Dawn. So, the rake would not allow you to go out on the same team as any holy person, which includes my 4 medics, or 3 medics. So I could never take him out. I could never put him in a team because there's no way I could heal because I don't take the... I guess the only other healer you could send him out with would have been the witch doctor guy, or whatever I said his name was. I've already forgotten because I don't use him. He's my least favorite character. He's the only healer he could go out with. And because of that, and since I don't play it, I was like, this character is completely useless to me. So I went and I removed the cannot go out with holy characters. So now he can be put on the same team as a healer, a knight, or another holy type character. So he can roll with them. That's great. That was my first alteration. And then I realized that if you've ever done, let's see if there's one of these available here right now. One of these is going to have it, I know it. There's almost always one that gives you some bonus. I'm actually surprised. It doesn't look like there's one up right now. Okay. So sometimes you'll get down here a notification that says, hey, there's a special event that's going to take place. collect, go disinfect all the altars, or go collect all the holy relics. They don't stack. I realize these holy relics, we're talking like a little crucifix that's inside a little chapel-looking statue thing that you got to take it off of. They don't stack. Why don't they stack? They take up 3 inventory spaces, and they don't stack. I'm like, that's ridiculous. They have to stack. So I was like, well, I've already removed the guy's problem with the holy people, so why don't I increase the stack size of a few items? Once again, this isn't, oh, you can stack 50 of the same item, oh, you can stack 100 of the same. No. I upped the stacks by relative amounts. The holy items, I think I can stack to 5. The holy waters used for removing the plague or whatever it is off of the relics in the buildings that you're going to, they can stack up to like 3 or 4. Just little things here and there. I look at it like this. You can carry 3 shovels in the exact same amount of space you can carry 1 holy relic. That didn't make any sense. So, by going by and altering these stack levels, it actually made things a little more fun for me. Because instead of sitting there like, this is ridiculous, half of my inventory's filled with items that I need to survive, another quarter of it's filled with the items I need to either drop off or pick up. So I only have like 3 or 4 spaces that I can actually put loot in. And I was like, okay, that's got to be fixed. So I want to say I increased shovels by 1 or 2. I think I think you're supposed to carry a max of 3 in the vanilla game. Stacks of shovels. I increased it to like 5. I increased the gems. And once again, you can carry 3 shovels in the exact same space. You can carry 5 gems of a certain type. I was like, that's stupid. I mean, you can pretty much fill your pocket up with gems, watch any heist movie, But I'm like, okay, so I could fix that. So I upped a little bit. We're talking instead of 5, maybe it's 8 or 9 or 10 of certain, size jewels. And the one I do think I did a little too much on was torches. Let me just make a quick fake team here just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, come here. Drop you in there. So we're going to go to provision. Now, I can stack firewood too. Once again, someone could say that's a lot of firewood to be stacking. But, I looked at it like this, I don't like having too many spaces filled with holy relics. Why would I want too many spaces filled with firewood logs? So, I could go ahead and fill all that up. Obviously I bypassed 3. Now, 12 is the max amount of food you can carry in vanilla. I brought it up to 20. That's a little high. If anything, I might go back and drop it to 15. But I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? 12 food's nice and all, but I always end up taking 1.5 stacks of food out. And, also, I'm going to pull back. The Warrens, or maybe it's the Weld. One of them, I think it's the Weld, you can find animal corpses and harvest food out of them. And I was getting like 12 food out of, one animal corpse. And I was like, dude, that just filled up my inventory. I don't have any room for anything else because of all this. So I was like, okay, I need to increase. That's one reason I increased the food stacks. But I think I brought the keys up to 5 or maybe 7 or something like that. I brought all these things up by like 2 or 3. I can't remember. I didn't bring it up much because I don't bring that many out. Another thing I learned is, after playing this game for a while, like if I was going into the forest, I'd probably take all 4 of those. And I'd probably take all the bandages too. But this is pretty much a standard, or maybe like that. That's pretty much standard for me going into a game now. Because I've learned that the holy water and the keys are pretty much godsends when it comes to taking on the abominations of this world. The shovel can be used to break open a few things, and the keys can do also. So having an extra shovel or 2 is pretty useful. So this probably be pretty close to a standard basic item setup, not including food and torches. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty nice. But increasing these stack sizes was lovely. I loved it. Now, I did increase some of the, like the busts, the There's something else. Yeah, the crests. I looked at the crest like, okay, that's not going to take up that much room. You can already carry a max, I think, of like 10 or 12 of them in a single stack. So I think I increased it like 15, maybe 18. Now, the busts, I figure, were pretty heavy. I think you can only carry like 4 or 5 in a stack, and I increased it to like 8. Or something like that. You'll see if you end up watching. You're probably like, oh, okay, that's how many he has in a stack when it maxes out and starts filling up another one. Deeds, I think I put a lot of deeds together because, once again, it's paper. You could stack a whole bunch of paper. I mean, if you ever bought a binder of like 200 sheets of paper, you know what I'm talking about. You could stack a lot of paper on top of each other. So I wasn't exactly... now, don't get me wrong, it's no 20. I think it's like maybe double what the game allows as the max stack size for the deeds. And if you're thinking, oh, well, what are you going to do? Obviously, you know, you never run out of items. I do. I have to still choose what I save and what I throw away. It's just like the normal game. It's just you get a little bit extra storage space. To me, that makes it a little bit more fun because, once again, you do you, I do me. I mod the games the way I want to because I like the way they're set up. I like the way they stack. I like the way they interact. And, you know, like I said, if you're watching this part and you're interested in, you know, learning how to do it, let me know down below, and I give you a quick tip-by-tip tutorial on how to make it so you can carry, you know, 10 portraits if you wanted to, because, let's face it, you know, just like the paper, you're probably not carrying the entire frame, you're probably just carrying the actual image inside the portrait. You know, we're not talking, you know, mega money codes or anything like that. I think another thing I did, the sellback price for all these items is atrocious. I think it's 75 for this. I think you can only sell the food back for 5 gold. So at the end of your adventure, you only get 5 gold back, and I was like, okay, that's some steep inflation if you can only sell it back for 5. So I think I increased this to like 15 or 20. You know, it's still low. You're not going to make bank off of, you know, selling the food back. Because I looked at, like I said before, the that area where you can take the animal carcasses and get food out of it. And if you get a stack of 12 food out of one animal carcass, that actually would put you, you know, in pretty good shape of selling the food back if you made it 75 both selling and buying. So I was like, yeah, I can't do it totally like that. But, you know, things like torches, I think I brought it up to 20 or 25 gold back for selling torches back, because they're still useful. I mean, I look at it like this. I don't even know why the guy's selling the stuff back. It should be left in an inventory for you to choose what you do with it later, you know. Oh, here's my adventuring inventory. Oh, I think I'll, you know, save the 2 shovels I didn't use on this adventure and take it with me in the next one. Nope, the guy sells it back and then buys it back on the next adventure. It's kind of weird. So, to make up for that, I upped the price slightly on the sellbacks of these kind of items. Once again, you know, the key I'm not buying back, or he's not buying the key back for 200, he's buying it back for 50 gold. You know, that kind of thing. Because the key would be a lot more useful. Let's face it, the guy's got several, right? But yeah, I mean, that's it on the mods. I've made it so some characters can interact with the abomination. I slightly increased the storage and price of items, and that's it. I didn't really alter any characters in the sense of, you know, interactions or anything like that. No health mods or anything like that. That's why my graveyard, I aimed at the wrong spot, sorry about that. That's why these guys are dead. Because the game is still the exact same game, it's just maybe a tad easier. A tad, not much. So, that being said, it's your game to play as you want to. And, you know, I'm going to play it the way I want to. As I said, the first 3 episodes are vanilla. So, I mean, if you wanted to see what this game is like on the vanilla experience, there you are. Wonky, broken, and a whole bunch of frustration. But we're going to go ahead and back out to the main game. And I'm going to jump in. And this is, you know, here it is, 30 minutes in. So this is probably the 4th timestamp. I guess it's 4th, 3rd or 4th, I can't remember. Of where the game actually starts. Now, once again, the one that episode 3 ended on was on week 4. So I went back to week 4 on this game. And as you can see, I changed the name of the game to YouTube game so I can make sure I knew which one it's going to be. This is one that I probably would live stream, except my...
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
I'm sorry. My area, I know some people probably wonder why I don't live stream. My area does not handle the internet very well. I live in the woods. I literally do not live in a subdivision. I do not live in a city. I live in the woods. There are more trees than people around. Now, I'll go ahead and start by showing what I did by using, the startup. This is the way I decided to do it. Alright, so I went ahead and got the second cell for the medical ward, because you need at least a minimum of 2. Because when you start getting diseases, you're going to need to cure those as fast. I'm saving up. I need to get as many busts as I can to get the next level for this. I absolutely have to get as many treatment wards as I can, because, as I mentioned before, you need to get rid of those negative effects before they start stacking up and your character start dropping in usefulness. So, I'm probably going to try and choose missions that give you a lot of busts. And this is, once again, week 4, so it's only the 4th round of actually playing this game. Now, I already have... I hadn't even changed his name yet. Mustard. Mr. Mustard, I've already picked up. I just... actually, I pulled him out of here just before I saved and started recording. Technically, I could get the Abomination, but I'm going to hold off for right now and get some more other people. I need a lot more of my medics. I need medics bad. I only have 1 right now. No, excuse me, I have 2 now. So, if one's out because they have too much stress and the other one's out because they have too many, a disease, or they're in there getting something taken out for psychological reasons over here in the treatment ward, I'll need a 3rd one to fill in that spot. And until I can get a 3rd one, I'm going to have to rely on what I said before of using the other 2. And I don't even have the archer yet, so I'm kind of a little lost on that. I've already bought the 2nd instructors section. I need to get to the 3rd, and also need to drop the prices, because leveling these people up gets really expensive if you don't start buying these. So this is a little bit later I'm going to be building up on. I need to get the next... actually, I can buy that right now if I wanted to. I really need to get this one. But I still have spaces left. You can't see it underneath my cursor. I have 8 of 16 spots filled already. So I could wait on this one for a turn or 2. So I think, yeah, I'm going to grab a 4th person.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain.
I think 4 is
the damned.
I think 4 is plenty for going through your roster real quick. I'll probably need to drop... Once my hero roster gets nearly full, I'll go ahead and focus on getting that next to hero barracks. Blacksmithing. To me, Armor Smith is the first one I need to upgrade out of here. Probably when I get 20 of these deeds, I'm going to drop it in here, because there is a special event. I've already gotten it already, and I dropped it into Armor Smithing too. A special event where it says, hey, a bunch of workmen aren't doing anything, they want to build you a building for free. I dropped it into Armor Smithing. I have a level 4, or level 3 or level 4, I can't remember, Armor Smith. You go back, to that timestamp where I'm looking at stuff, and you'd see exactly where it is. But I was like, this is great. It's these are expensive. These 2 right here are extremely expensive. For all of these things are probably the most expensive things in any of the categories. These last ones here and here. So if you can get one of those buildings for free, go for it. To me, the armor is the most important, because your higher level characters, they need to be protected against these higher level threats. Oh, that's another mod that I forgot to mention that I did, was when you hit level 3, they can't go down. They can't escort a level 1 hero into the dungeon, or a level 0 character into a dungeon if it's a level 1 dungeon. It's like, I'm too good for that. I'm thinking to myself, I had 3 medics that none could go with any of the new rival team people. So I removed the restriction. It's something else that, like I said back in the other section, if you want to know how to do it, let me know, and I'll show you how to do it. But anyway, that's pretty much... I also learned that you really need the cloister upgraded as well, so... I'm close, but I'm not close enough to getting this next one. Once again, I needed the busts for the other thing as well, so I really, really, really need busts for removing stress and doing the other thing. So that's going to be the mission priority, is shields and busts is what I'm going to be looking for. So we're going to go ahead and set up a mission. So who am I going to take? Should I take... How do you change your name? I'm tired of looking at Mustard. I'm going to spell Gustav that way because I'm not even sure how to spell Gustav. He looks like a Gustav to me. Ah, comrade, welcome. It's more Russian, but whatever. Yeah, I named this guy Bill Overbeck after Left 4 Dead. And I actually didn't name you either. Sorry about that. Little, things I like to change. There you go. Forget the priestesses. This was my favorite name because, you know, the old Plague Doctor mask looks like a bird, so I call him Burb. Anyway, so we'll take Gustav to go with us because he's still level 1. And do I want to take the Plague Doctor? I don't think I want to take the Plague Doctor this time. I think I'll switch you two out. Yeah, I want you in the back row. Yeah, I'm going to take you instead, because you're level 0, I need to train you up. So yeah. So we got our Buffer and Heavy Attacker. We got our Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, Bounty Hunter. We got our stealthy yet very sinister Plague Infector, Grave Robber, who's very effective at ranged. And then, of course, we got our Healer. So this is a pretty decent team, in my opinion. Now, what mission am I going to take? I need busts and birds, but this is also Kill the Necromancer Apprentice. Don't think I'm going to do that with a level 1 and a level 0 in the team. So we'll wait a little while before we take on this mission. I do need deeds. Not very many, though. We got some more bird crests and more deeds. Let's see. That's a level 6. Where no one's going to that one for a while. So what is this? Scouting chance, trap disarm. That's not that important. Plus 10 dodge, or minus 4 dodge, plus 10 damage. A lot of times you'll end up deciding on a mission based on what the items you get along with it. Plus 4 dodge, minus 20 move resistance. It's not that useful. I think it's going to be one of these two. So either the minus 4 dodge plus 10 damage, or the scouting and trap disarm. I think this one's going to win. The deeds really aren't that many to go with. It's not that great. But I could really go for that damage increase. Especially for the Hellion that I mentioned earlier. It would be really good to have that, you know, damage boost. You know, I'm planning on eventually having a Hellion, so I might as well. I just realized the air conditioner must have kicked on. I'm getting kind of cold. I'm wearing shorts. Alright, so let's go ahead and take I think 2 shovels will be fine. By the way, those locked cupboards, I found out you can use a shovel to break the glass. So you don't have to use the keys if you got too many shovels and not enough keys. Feel free to use one of those. Take 3 of those and 3 of those. As you can see, I'm getting to 15 of these. We'll take 15 of those as well. So yeah, I can stack a little better for those who skip the mods and alterations that I did section. I increased the stack size of some items, not ridiculous amounts. You know, there's no, oh, I can carry 50 of a certain item. Nah, I don't do that. I still want it to be challenging. I just, you know, didn't like how some of the stacks looked, so I was like, I better increase.
Of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Okay, so this is a scouting, so we need to get 90%. If there's 10 rooms, it means you gotta hit 9 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess I need to hit at least 8 of them. Okay, first off, this one. You have a 50-50 shot using the shovel. Now, I unfortunately used it just for the recording of the last event, and it was bad. I got guilty conscience. Yeah, he's the one who used it. And because I dug up a grave, it gave me a 50-50 shot whether or not I got loot or guilty conscience, and I got guilty conscience. I screwed up. But you could also dump one of these on it. Now, there's only 9 rooms, so the chances of me having 3 different altars to dump this on is low. So, you can dump holy water.
Stuff is only the first test.
You can dump holy water on the urns to get additional loot. And that's a stun charm, so that sounds... it's resist stun. If I could use it to stun people, I would have given it to her because she has that stun ability. And since she doesn't, that kind of sucks. I also found out about this. I'm trying to talk here, do you mind? As you can see, the radiant light affects your dodge, scouting, and monster surprise. If it's over 75%, which is this line right here, you have a +4 chance to surprise monsters, which is always good. And obviously you see plus scouting, plus dodge. It's great. If it's down here, they'll end up surprising you a lot of the time. So don't let your torch get too low, but don't overdo it. You know, I wouldn't use a torch to fill up your other torch if it's over 75%. Now, since the Grave Robber is going next, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the fact that this is one of the reasons I like the Grave Robber. The gunman can fire at 3 enemies. The archer can fire at 3, but does very little damage, but it like suppresses them with debuffs. She can fire at either 2, which gives her a buff, or excuse me, no, the 1 gives her a buff. The 2 gives them 20% bleed chance. She can use this for a single character to get blight. And I took the toxin detoxify because I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, she's pretty darn good at damaging characters. Now, actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna do the double dagger throw. He's at half health, so as long as I hit him, I can take him out. Now, I think I'm going to do this. I forgot to take that one off. I meant to change that one out with the counterattack ability, but yeah. I'm debuffing everybody. That way, things like that happen more. I'm going to use Judgment to hopefully kill this guy. There we go. Now, it didn't kill him, but it critted him, so that's nice. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and kill him off. Wait. Oh, darn it, I didn't change his items at all. Oh, that sucks. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of somebody. You.
Executed with impunity.
This guy's, like I said, my 3rd favorite, maybe 2nd favorite character behind the Hellion. So, take these guys out.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy.
We're at our 2nd turn on a 4th week game, and I'm already destroying the enemy exponentially. That's why I said healer is almost always necessary. I was so busy talking earlier, I didn't pay attention to the fact that I'm hoping that I bought the skills, that I just didn't add them in yet.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Okay, let me look real quick. I did not buy the skills. Okay, that sucks. That's on me. I didn't do it. I meant to buy Come Hither, which is a scorpion. Get over here! It's ye old get over here, I guess. I really don't need the flashbang. And this one knocks him back. This one pulls him forward. Like I said, which is kind of what the Jester and some of the other characters do. The Occultist does. He moves him forward and pulls him back kind of thing. And, you know, instead of taking the Occultist, I would just take these 2 skills. I wanted to move people on the board, you know. So, yeah, I got to change this guy's stats when I leave out of here. Got to buy the other skills. Okay, I did. Okay, I can take that one. And, I didn't buy it. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, both of them I didn't buy the skills I needed to. Which you can buy at the guild hall. Her, she's good. You can see I've been to the guild hall and bought up all the skills that I... Basically, depending on what position I want her in. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn that one off and turn on Shadow Fade, because I figured it might be a little more useful right now to be able to disappear and take down people. Now, since we're bringing it up, I've also gone ahead and upgraded her as well to level 2s. Depending on what skills you take, for those who are new to this game, depends, you'll see where your preferred position depending on your skills. Obviously, melee bash, you can see there's 2 yellow dots to the far side there. Well, I guess it'd be that way on the recording. Kind of mirrored. But, yeah, if I had this one, she would need to be in the first 2 spots to be able to bash people. I took these because I prefer to have her in the back row just supporting. It's up to you how you want to play. Your play style is how you want to play it. Now I'll hit this as I'm going in. We're at 89, so we're still got the chance to ambush and scout. Yeah, the reason I'm talking so much is the fact that, you know, there's always a chance there's someone new that's seen this game for the first time and goes, oh wow, I'd like to know more about that. Let's see. I heard you can burn books and it gives you incredibly bad psychological trauma, so don't do that. Is it good or bad? Reflexes. It is a good one. I got a +2 speed by sending somebody to read the book. It's 50-50. You could end up with this, or you could end up with something over here. Either good or bad traits. Now, once again, normally I would use him to disarm the trap, but since I have a Gravedigger, she has a 60% trap disarm. She's far better at this. Once again, that's why I like the Gravedigger better than some of the other classes, because a little extra perks here and there. Now, I went ahead and hit the torch before I started up to give me the chance to get the ambush. So, as you can see, I had a +4 chance to surprise attack, and I got it. Woohoo! You know? So, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to bellow just to bring these guys down. I could bolster... You know what? I'm going to bolster first because my team's going to get the first chance to strike. Which means I should have... Yeah, +5 dodge, +5 speed, or +2 speed. So, these guys will have less chance of hitting me.
A singular
17.
strike.
That was well worth doing the bolstering. Because now he's not going to be able to do as much damage over time to us. Now, since I only got one character that's taking any damage at all, I'm going to go ahead and Judgment. And try to take out this guy. Didn't kill him, but it hurt. I can finish that off pretty quickly, though.
Press this advantage.
So the shotgunner who area effects is gone. That's nice. Now I'm going to need to start healing up.
The ground quakes.
C'est magnifique. Beautiful. Another good thing about him is the fact he can actually go to 3 spots back, rather than most frontline fighters can only attack 2 on normal attacks. He can attack 3 on normal. Well, back to the 3rd position, that is. So, I think I'm going to heal you up. You're going to need the healing a little better.
Prodigious size alone
Look,
does not
RNG is in my favor currently, and the game hasn't frozen once. Isn't that amazing? But once again, if you skipped ahead and you want to know how to unfreeze it, if you decide you want to live stream or record this, go back to the section that I marked that says, you know, at the very beginning, really, on how to fix it. So that's basic I can give you. Yeah, dart's the only thing I can do at this closer range. You got blight and debuff, so I'm not really super worried about that.
Soothe. Sedated.
I love this guy's voice. It's so much fun to listen to him with these random quirks and stuff.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Success so clearly in view.
One thing I learned about the strong
Or
boxes...
is it merely a trick of the light?
Usually there's no special, you can't really use the key or the shovel or anything like that. It's just a strong box. There's nothing locking it. So, not really worth
gold,
wasting a key on
trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
Paid for in blood. Yeah, it really sucks when you don't see the trap, even when you have a trap specialist, because if you don't scout it and see it, you don't know. Alright, sir, I'm going to send you in there because you got the least amount of quirks if you get trapped. It's not much. Alright. We're coming up on an hour, so I really need to hurry up and get this, Okay, what effect did you get? Bad or good? Clutch hitter. That sounds like a good one. Oh, look at that. We've gotten, 2 good ones in a row, which is great, because I hate it when I do that and end up with, 2 or 3 characters with 3 or 4 bad problems. So, yeah, I mean, we got another, bonus. I love it. But there's always that chance that RNG is going to be against you, so don't ever think that, oh man, this game is horrible, or man, this game is the greatest ever. It's just how things go. Alright, so that's a dead end. But we have to hit 90% of the room, so we can't just skip one, until we know whether or not there's something at it. I mean, obviously, if I got a map that showed me, oh, there's nothing down here, I could have skipped that room completely and been like, whatever. That'll be the one room I skip kind of deal. Now, I'm hoping the trap isn't reactivated. We'll find out in a second. Because just because you set it off once doesn't mean that it's no longer a chance to activate. I'm hoping we get a scout advantage here. Perfect timing. And we got the surprise. If you want to have a chance to win, make sure you get that surprise attack. So, yeah. Great start.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
I want to get rid of him because I don't have much defense against psychological problems.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
I find, especially in the early game, you got to kill the little guy here and the lady that cause the most psychological trauma to your team.
Be gone, fiend.
Otherwise, you'll end up having guys with risking heart attacks because their stats are too high.
So too will resistance.
We did not get a... So, I gotta head this way anyway because I don't want to leave any loot behind. Okay. So, he's got quite a few good ones now. I really don't want to risk him, so I'm going to send him because he's got one good one. The other guy has got one good one. She's 2-2. She's 2-2. So, there's a chance he'll get a good one. There's a chance he'll get a bad one. We'll see. Unsettling Passage, he got a bad one. But not horrible where it's a bad quirk.
Packs laden with loot.
For 96%.
Often low on supplies.
Apparently, as you can see, you can shift-click to change the amount of fire, I guess, to see how long it burns, but... I haven't really played with it, so I don't know. I'll just go for damage.
Another one falls.
That one didn't hit as well as I was hoping. I was hoping to get a massive damage. Since the back row is the one that he can't hit, I'm trying to get rid of that one. And since I can't use the him to pull the guys closer, I need to kind of clear up the area. Now she needs a heal badly. That is highly unfortunate. Okay, good. As long as you leave the Gravedigger alone, we'll be fine. Or, not Gravedigger, what is it? Grave Robber. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. The less friendly version of Grave Enthusiasts.
Impressive.
Those that dig the graves to put the bodies in are a lot nicer than the ones who steal personal belongings from the graves. Now see, he can't reach back there, so I'm probably going to have to use Flashbang, or... Actually, finish him, we'll get over there. We'll do that. It's enough space to look around to make sure you have a skill that can actually get to a certain spot. And death. So yeah, you get an accuracy of 15 bonus by using that particular attack.
And insidious killer.
A jar, we'll go ahead and open it. It's unfortunate it was empty, but they're not always winners. Now we haven't had to use a shovel yet. And I think I used, what, 1 key? So it hadn't really needed the key either, but you never know going into these maps what items you are or aren't going to need. We've gotten a lot of torches.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
It was a torch. I wouldn't exactly call it a fortune. Yeah, we're over the hour mark, but we're nearly done. Got one more room to look at, and we'll call it an episode. Once again, never froze, so I'm very happy. We'll debuff. She did not get debuffed.
Dazed, reeling, about to break.
The good news is, this is the last room, so I don't have to worry about, really healing people up. Yeah, it's fine. Want to stop that bleeding real quick. Get rid of her because she causes a lot of psychological stress, and he's already got a lot. Now she gets healed a little bit. Hit him again. And one more to go.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Yeah, so this one really wasn't as great of a map to show off because I only got 2 busts and 4 crests, so things didn't add up in my character's favor in the sense of this particular adventure.
The great ruins
I got 3 of
belong
these,
to
but
us,
and
we
it's still
will
almost
find
nothing.
whatever secrets they hold.
So yeah, 4, 2, and 3. That's not really going to get me anywhere, unfortunately. This mission was kind of a bust in the long run. Now, I did get some skill upgrades for these characters. Oh, and now we get to see what my traits are going to be. Oh no, almost everybody got a good and a bad one. She just got a bad one. Tuckered out, that's bad. Ruins Adventure is good. Another light sensitive, that's bad. I got to get rid of that one. Because, I mean, think of it, looks like he loses 10 damage as the torch is above 75. I needed above 75 to be able to get in sneak attacks and stuff. Speed reduction. See, the same thing. These both, light sensitive and nocturnal, both are bad, or almost the same thing. Look at that. 3 people with the same problem, basically. I got to get rid of all these. That's why I said that you need that treatment center as fast as possible. Because without it, you're going to start stacking up these problems until your characters are kind of useless. So yeah, I mean, let's see. Okay, he got I had to get rid of this one. He starts with kleptomania. I'd always wondered why there's a knight working for you as a bodyguard when you first start the game up. It's because he's a knight thief who I guess got caught and ended up having to take a mercenary job. So he finally got to level 1. I can finally upgrade him a little bit. So yeah, I mean, that's it for this episode. Like I said, it didn't freeze. I am so freaking happy it didn't freeze because of that one change. You have no idea how happy I am. So, you know, I would like to continue the story, but as I said in the other episodes, in the other series, if you don't want to see this game, you want to see a different one, let me know in the comments section. You know what? I'll probably throw up a poll in a couple episodes. If you want to see a different game, I'll probably give a couple choices, and if what you want to see is not on that choice list, write down below what you want to see of games I've played in the past that I haven't played again. I can always go back and add them in. You know, I did, what was it, Alien Isolation. I did like 3 episodes for Halloween. If you want to see me play Alien Isolation, let me know. I'll go and start that game back up and play it again. No one's ever said they want to see it, so I just assume people don't want to see it. I might wait till Halloween to start it up again for the entire month of October. But, you know, that's just an example. Whatever you want, let me know, and I'll go ahead and prep it. And, you know, for the month of March, I'm probably going to be playing this game mostly for this month. Because I'm pre-recording these episodes. It's still February right now. So, you know, I just want to go ahead and get some episodes recorded for the month of March. You know, especially when it comes to my job. I don't always get the chance to record episodes. So, that's why I record so many in advance. Is because, you know, I might work 4 days in a week this week. And work 5 days next week. And then have 3 days off the week after that. Well, if I run out of episodes by week 3, then I'm in trouble. You know, I didn't have prepped enough stuff. And then I got to sit there and try to, you know, spend my entire day doing what I normally need to do, plus recording, and that kind of piles up, and then I run into problems. I mean, I started recording at 2 today, or excuse me, 1, it's 2 now, and I'm like, you know, I spent the first half of my day since I woke up doing the things I had to do to get the day started, so for most people, that's a pretty late start for recording, but you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, thank everybody for stopping by and joining. If you like it, that like, subscribe for future content. If you feel like it, leave a comment below, and suggestions if you want to see any particular game that I may have done in the past that you want to see a continuation of, or if you just have a thought or comment you want to leave below. Especially if you want to see certain things like how to mod the game, or any game that I do. Usually I tell you if I do a mod, or early on, like how I started this episode saying, hey, I modded this. But if you want to know about that stuff, let me know down below. I can either give you, in the comment section, a step-by-step how to do it, or do a tutorial video on how to do it. Kind of be my choice, I guess, on that. But anyway, until next time, take care and be safe out there, everybody. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.